It started with a headache for a 20-year-old college student in Belgium. He was healthy, active, and just trying to save a little time and money by meal prepping. On a Sunday, he cooked a big batch of pasta, portioned it out, and left it on his kitchen counter to eat over the next few days. 5 days later, he reheated a bowl with some tomato sauce. He thought it tasted a bit off, but figured it was just a new brand of sauce he'd bought. Within 30 minutes, he was hit with intense stomach pain, nausea, and a pounding headache. Soon after, he was dealing with severe vomiting and diarrhea. Instead of going to a doctor, he did what a lot of us might do, drank some water and went to bed, hoping he'd just sleep it off. The next morning, his parents went to check on him when he didn't show up for class. They found him lifeless in his bed. Investigators figured out that he had passed away around 4 a.m., only 10 hours after he ate that pasta. An autopsy revealed the shocking reason. His organs were shutting down and his liver had failed. The culprit wasn't some rare disease, it was the pasta he'd left on his counter. Lab samples confirmed it was filled with a bacterium called Bacillus cereus. This story, while a tragic and very rare case, is a brutal lesson in a surprisingly common food safety mistake. It's a risk that's been nicknamed fried rice syndrome, and it exposes a hidden danger in some of the world's most popular foods. So how does something as simple as leftover rice or pasta lead to a situation like this? The name fried rice syndrome caught on because of food poisoning outbreaks linked to, you guessed it, fried rice. Specifically, rice that was cooked and then left out at room temperature for hours before it was ever tossed in a wok. The problem isn't the rice itself, but a tiny opportunist called Bacillus cereus. Bacillus cereus is a type of bacteria that's pretty much everywhere. It's in soil, dust, and on raw vegetables. That means it's naturally on uncooked rice, pasta, and potatoes. In small amounts, it's not a big deal, but this bacterium has an incredible survival trick. It can form protective spores. These spores are unbelievably tough. They're designed to survive harsh conditions, and that includes being boiled. So when you cook rice, the heat kills off most other bacteria, but these stubborn little spores can make it through. In fact, for them, the heat is like a wake-up call. It activates the spores, getting them ready to sprout back into active, multiplying bacteria. And this is where the real danger starts. It all depends on what happens after the cooking is done. Once your rice is cooked and starts to cool, you've entered a critical window. If that rice is just left sitting on a counter, it's in what food safety experts call the danger zone. That's the temperature between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 and 60 degrees centigrade. For Bacillus cereus, the perfect temperature to grow and thrive is right in the middle of that range, basically room temperature. In this cozy environment, with no competition from other bacteria, the activated spores start multiplying like crazy. And as they grow, they produce toxins. Bacillus cereus actually makes two different kinds. One causes diarrhea about 6 to 15 hours after you eat. The other, more famous toxin is called cereulide. This one causes vomiting and it works fast. Symptoms can pop up in as little as 30 minutes. This vomiting toxin, cereulide, is the main problem in fried rice syndrome. And here's the most important thing to understand. It is extremely heat stable. Once that toxin is formed in the food, no amount of reheating will get rid of it. You can microwave it or fry it in a pan until it's screaming hot. That will kill the bacteria, sure, but the toxin they already made is still there, ready to make you sick. Studies have shown this toxin can easily withstand boiling temperatures. So that common belief that blasting your leftovers with heat makes them safe, it's a dangerous myth. If the food was stored improperly and the toxin is there, it's already too late. You also can't trust your senses. Food contaminated with the toxin often looks, smells, and tastes perfectly fine, just like the student in our story discovered. Now, it's important to remember that while getting sick from this is fairly common, a fatal outcome is extremely rare. But the illness itself is no joke. The window to prevent all of this is surprisingly short. Food safety authorities agree. Cooked food shouldn't be left at room temperature for more than 2 hours. If it's a hot day, say above 90 degrees Fahrenheit or 32 degrees centigrade, that window shrinks to just 1 hour. After hearing all of that, you might be tempted to swear off leftovers for good. But here's the good news. You don't need to be afraid of rice. You just need to be smart about it. The risk doesn't come from reheating rice. It comes from how it was stored before you reheated it. So, let's clear up the myths and get you the simple science-backed steps to enjoy your leftovers safely. Reheating to a high temperature kills the bacteria, but it does not destroy the heat-stable toxin they may have already produced. Prevention is the only real cure. Myth 2. You just can't eat leftover rice. Also false. Leftover rice is perfectly fine to eat if you cool and store it in the right way. So what is the right way? The goal is to get your food out of that temperature danger zone as fast as possible. Here's a simple 3-step guide. Cool, store, and reheat. First, cool it down and do it fast. Don't just leave a giant hot pot of rice on the counter for hours. A big pile of food cools very slowly from the inside, giving bacteria plenty of time to party. Instead, as soon as you're done cooking, divide it into smaller, shallower containers. Spreading it out on a baking tray is another pro move to help it cool down quickly. Just get it into the fridge within that 2-hour max window after cooking. Second, store it right. Once it's cooled a bit, get the rice into airtight containers and into the fridge. Make sure your fridge is set to 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 centigrade or below. The cold won't kill bacteria, but it slows their growth way down, stopping them from making toxins. As for how long to keep it, general advice is 3 to 4 days for most leftovers. But to be extra cautious with starchy foods like rice and pasta, many experts suggest trying to eat them within a day or two. If you're not going to get to it, just freeze it. Third, reheat it well, but only once. When you're ready to eat, reheat your leftovers until they are steaming hot all the way through. That means getting them to at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit or 74 degrees centigrade. That kills any stray bacteria that might have popped up. And this is important. Only reheat the portion you're actually going to eat. Don't keep reheating the same big batch over and over. Every time you cool and reheat food, you're giving bacteria another chance to grow. The story of the student is a powerful reminder that food safety isn't something to ignore. That one simple mistake, leaving cooked food on the counter, created the perfect environment for a tragic, though rare, outcome. But it's a mistake that's completely preventable. This isn't about being scared of your food, it's about knowing how to handle it. By cooling food fast, storing it in the cold, and reheating it properly, you take away the risk. A few simple habits are the difference between a convenient meal and a medical emergency. The power to prevent fried rice syndrome is literally in your hands. If you found this information helpful, please hit the like button and share this with someone you know. You could be saving them from a really bad time. For more guides that give you the facts you need to stay safe, make sure to subscribe. Stay safe out there and handle your food with care.